right, good morning traders, and welcome to the live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to go through live market analysis. That's what we do every Tuesday. The
Monday,
live
Tuesday,
trading webinar. This is
and
Bruce
Friday.
at Bookmap, and we're going to we had live trading yesterday with Scott Bolsini, futures trader, and then Wednesday with Jay Trader, a stocks trader. This is our schedule of live webinars that we have daily here during the weekdays. Need to go through the disclosures, and let's jump right into the live analysis here and take a look at S&P or any market that you guys want to take a look at. This is most people want to look at the S&P. We can look at crypto, we can look at stocks. So general disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump right in. Let's take a look at the order flow here in Bookmap. I do want to spend some time on the higher time frame also just get a quick sound check in here. Can everybody hear me and see my screen correctly? Good morning, everybody. All right, good to go. Excellent. All right, so we got this going in Discord as well as YouTube. So you know, we'll be moving over just to Discord. I mean, just to YouTube. But all right. Anyway, let's get going here. All right. So you can see the cash open here, and quick move to the downside, and one leg, two leg, third leg. Now notice the third leg down here. Okay, it's let's just go through. I mean, we're just talking about market structure here, and maybe we'll kind of spend a lot of time in this webinar talking about market structure. It is just so important. Here's leg one, here's leg two, and here's the break here in leg three. I mean, you know, not much, right? So not much. We kind of assume a steeper pullback. So you know, back to VWAP here, not a bad idea. Right, back into areas where you know, there was previous market activity in this area here is a really good one in here. This is a high volume node here, right? So back to where it can trade. That's the concept here. You know, high volume node, low volume node, whatever, where it can transact. That's the key here, and this is it. VWAP, whatever. Like, yeah, doesn't matter. It's about the auction and the condition of the auction. What do traders think about the market, and where can it transact in this auction? And then we're seeing kind of it revert back into an area where there was previously a lot of transactions. Okay, so by understanding market structure, okay, these lower lows were less. Okay, we can also look at, and this is where Bookmap is really handy, high liquidity, getting filled, high liquidity, getting filled, getting filled, getting filled. This is going to be a big stop run. It's not as big as I thought. And also, you know, getting filled into these areas here. So someone's on the other side, and they're absorbing, or they're staying in the book and they're getting filled. Okay, also here, okay, they're getting filled in here. All right, so we're starting to note where they're starting to kind of absorb the selling pressure of the aggressors. And this is what's making this structure. Okay? We're putting all these pieces together. This is what makes the structure. Okay, so when you start to look and talk about like head and shoulders patterns and how to trade them, well, you know, who cares? When it comes down to it, like, it's really this activity that makes the structure. And this is what we're going to get insight from in Bookmap. You might get this structure and you don't see absorption down here. Well, then there's higher probability that this is not, it's going to continue on another leg. That's where you get the insight. Okay, so and that's where, like, this is just so objective. This is telling you the truth of the market. Whereas if you don't have this, and all of us you know, are looking at things like this, we're looking at just candlesticks, some sort of bar data, and maybe some indicators, and you're trying to understand absorption with this. it's just not showing you much. It's all a derivative here. The price action, the volume, it's all hidden in here. We're kind of, it's not a lot of transparency here. Okay, yeah, I mean, you can go candlestick theory of reading the wicks and understanding rejection, etc. Yeah, but let's define what rejection is. Let's define what absorption is, and really understand the details. This will make your candlestick pattern much higher probability that there will be follow through or a break of it. All right, so here we are back to VWAP, back to that high volume node, and testing a little bit above it as well. All right, so anyway, let's take a look at higher time frame structure, and let's put on our best bid and offer. Let's take our candles off. We might come back and revisit candles today, but I want to start off more with structure here, and really jump in here. Goon05, thank you, welcome, and you want to look at this is a really good thing to look at, the accumulation over the last 3 days. I don't know if I can show that in here. I don't have that much data in NQ, but I'll tell you, like, we've seen this so many times over the years. You just see massive absorption on the way down, and or larger players getting filled all the way down in multiple days, or a lot of times, like the order flow session kind of makes a fool of you. You look at it and you go, God, it's got to bounce, right? They've been absorbing here forever, and it's got to bounce. We're looking for the bounce, and it doesn't. Look for another. If it's multi-day, that you might get a multi-day move to the upside. Okay, so that's a good kind of segue into looking at a multi-day move here. We were reading like these kinds of rejection wicks in here on the daily chart here on the left, and understanding that there's a lot of absorption. There's a lot of people getting filled in here, and in here as well. You can see it. This is the this was the options expiration and the squeeze higher here, and we were looking for that. There was no reason to think otherwise, as everyone thinking that the world's going to end here, or everything's bearish, and we get this beautiful squeeze, right? So being able to understand these on multi-day, and you'll see it in Bookmap, like on daily, you'll see it, but it can be really really powerful to look for swing trades using order flow in Bookmap. It's a beautiful thing. And we I think we created a video, like we saw it one day where it's just like, oh my God, there was like, I don't know, 35 or 7,000 icebergs that were filled in the ES. It was just unbelievable, and I'd never seen anything like it, and that led to the rest of the week. It was streaming higher, screaming higher, basically. Okay, something like this move in here on the daily. So when you start to see and understand those events, then it's really powerful move. So look for it. That could be your trading strategy, in fact, if you don't have a lot of time. Okay, and just look for, like, higher time frame order flow absorption, multiple levels, multi days, and then look for once the order flow starts to shift and change in the reversal, it can be very nice swing trade opportunity. All right, so let's take a look here now at the hourly in here. A lot of chop in these areas. We saw the gap fill, I think yesterday, and then here we are, right back down after the gap fill here. Yeah, on the daily chart, just on structure, let's take a step back here. Even on the daily here, okay, so this was kind of an odd move, I thought, here on the daily. I was looking for maybe a small move above here, hit a lot of stops. It closed up here on the daily, And I was like, where's this going? Like, you know, maybe this, are they going for this swing up here? Maybe, I guess it was maybe a high volume node in here on the daily that it would kind of reach to, and it just couldn't make it any further. Anyway, a pop up above this range, and then you can see that it rejected, and we're back down above, back down below here. It trades down to this swing here and this candle here, back up above to this kind of area up here. That's what originally we were looking at, and then we see the fade. Okay, now where did it go? Well, look down in this area here where it broke out from in the market structure, and that we're seeing wicks down here. So, you know, to see that maybe some short covering as well as buyers maybe buying down here, we see the move back up. So again, market structure is just really essential to understand. We look at our higher time frame levels, and then we look at the order flow around those levels for you know, optimizing our trading activity. Let's take a look here with maybe a month back on the hourly. Yeah, and we can just see this has been pretty choppy in here the last few days, as you can see, but we did fill the gap, okay, from early in the week, and there it is. All right, so what about today? Where are we going today? Well, market structure, we can take a look at the 15-minute chart here, and maybe we'll drill down also to a 5-minute. Yeah, filled the gap right back down. No bounce off of this area here, or very little bouncing off of this area. Kind of, you can see the gap in here as well. It gapped down back into this area, but look at the structure in here. Okay, strong move out yesterday, consolidation, strong move, consolidation, strong move. We didn't even get a bounce in here, so it went all the way back down to this one. So a deeper pullback, and it gives us some insight to, well, you know, we're not as bullish, right? If this is because this is a strong move yesterday, as you guys can see, but a pretty deep pullback, and we're not seeing strong buyers at this point right now. If this is a strong move and it's strong buying, well, we should get a bounce off of this area here, okay, around 44.89 or so. Instead, this was the gap. All right, so let's see. I mean, you can see right now currently, let's look at the day, and let me maybe look at a 5-minute chart here at this point. Yeah, so we're looking at the day. Here's that area, you know, the strong move, pull back, strong move, pull back, strong move. Here's the gap, and bouncing off of this area right now. Yeah, but I'm not really seeing a lot of strong buying in here at the moment. I mean, they're buying, but I'd be looking for them to kind of trade back up into this area here and maybe fill the gap as well. All right, so but you can see we're not really finding that at the moment here. Okay, instead it was a strong move after or at the close here, and then overnight, or I'm sorry, this morning. So maybe this is as far as we get, and then we see more sellers down here. If we get more sellers down here, I'd be looking for the break, okay, because this has already been a pretty strong pullback. And let's see if we can get the break back down into these areas here on the higher time frame. Okay, so this would be the first area here, probably around 44.60, and then maybe somewhere around here around 44.48 or something like that. All right, anyway, our higher time frame analysis, understanding market structure. Right, and we're talking about market structure in, you know, the price action making up that market structure. All right, let's see here. Let me get to some questions here. I wanted to just go through that analysis pretty quickly for you guys, and then we can get to our questions here. All right, I'm gonna go through. Let's see, what feed do you use? Rhythmic. I use Rhythmic. They DX feed for futures as well as Rhythmic. They show full depth of market, which is great. You know, all of these levels are live. Even if I zoom vertically here, these are all live. You can even see it up here at 45.50. At 9:30, this player came in here, and then you know, added that liquidity, and they're still up here. Okay. Also, this player down here, 44.25. Okay, now this kind of activity you see in stocks all the time. Like we can jump over to a stock and look at 930 here, like on Apple, and just look at these levels. It's just incredible. 930, and larger players parking their orders in certain areas. Okay, this really can outline your day if you're like a fib trader or a floor trader pivots, whatever it is you're looking at. Like you can outline your day and look for these levels to align, or these areas of high liquidity to align with your levels and projections. Okay. All right. So that's the advantage for those data feeds. But Rhythmic offers the market by order, which allows you to see stops and iceberg transactions. All right, you want to look at Bitcoin? Sure. We can take a quick look at Bitcoin and see what's going on. I don't have a whole lot of data from 6 a.m. here. The product I'm looking at here is 5 different exchanges within Bookmap. This is our multi-book data. So you can see it up here: Bitcoin USD, spot market, MB stands for multi-book, and then BMD is Bookmap data. That we're the data provider actually. Up here in the top left-hand corner, we're looking at 5 different exchanges within one instrument. Okay, and the liquidity of all those 5 different exchanges, as well as transactions and best bid and offer. So between Bitstamp, or combination of Bitstamp, Bitfinex, Coinbase Pro, FTX, and Kraken, okay, all within one instrument here, gives you a much more objective outlook of the players in the market with 5 different exchanges. Yeah, you can see that it comes down into this high liquidity here, just shy of it, around 42,700, and a pretty strong move out of this area here. Okay, the figure right here doesn't seem to really be batting an eye much. I mean, you see some high liquidity filled in here at 43,000, but you know, just not really showing us too much. Usually we see a lot more activity around those levels instead of like 42,700. Anyway, we see the move back up again. Market structure, we can look at it here. Let's dim the heat map for a minute. Market structure, this is where it kind of dropped from up in here. Okay, and we just went up and tested that area. This is strong. This is strong move, strong volume here. So I'm looking for another retest up here by buyers. We're looking for a pullback. This is a low volume node pullback, or a low volume pullback, yeah, you know, this is where we look at areas to pull back to, like an area of consolidation or where it began from, and we start to match that with the heat map. Okay, so maybe we can get a little stop run below this area and then a boost back up into 43,500. One of the things in crypto that I've noticed in the order flow, love to get your guys' feedback on this, but you see the strong consistent buying here. This is good. This means that you know, traders are engaged in this and moving the market. Now they need to get back up above the swing up here around this 400 level, and we need to see pretty strong volume. A lot of times what you see in what I've seen, at least in the crypto markets, is you see these strong initial moves like this, but you don't get that up here. Okay, so this looks more, let's put it this way, the order flow within here looks higher probability for a bull flag pattern. Strong move, consolidation, taking a break, strong move, followed by another strong move to the upside. A lot of times what you'll see is initial strong move here, and then it just really kind of tapers off. You might even see selling, you know, up in these areas up here. Okay, but not a strong buying. All right, so when you see that in the order flow, this is where crypto can just be very challenging. You know, you're not looking for a continuation. You're looking for a move back down to test where it broke out from down here. More of kind of like mean reversion type of tactics. It gets you all excited in here. You see like, oh, they're buying, and then they really kind of fade up here, and there's no follow through, and then you get the move right back down. Okay, so this looks better. It's a strong move, and there's strong consistent buying all the way through. Therefore, the primary scenario here, and that's not a trade recommendation, but the primary scenario is this. Okay, and we'll come back and revisit it. We're looking for strong move followed by another. We got consolidation, and then we're looking for our bull flag, strong move up into maybe this looks like a good area. There's liquidity up here already. It's a big figure at 44,000. All right. Does this work for options as well? Yeah, Tad, you can get options data in here. I've seen traders do it. However, it's best to use it as the underlying, not the actual options. There's very thin data, so it doesn't really tell you too much. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys, over in Discord, like I've been missing the discussion here, so hold on a second. Sorry about this. Yeah, sorry, Alec. 44. Okay, let's jump back to the S&P. 70 is yeah. Well, we see a spot gamma level, volume trigger level here as well, and okay, yeah. You also yeah, you've got it marked up. Snuffle platypus. Good morning, David. Candles are for retail. Yeah, I mean, I like candles. I just think that, you just seeing so much more here. Like you're not getting the full picture, and you're just kind of shooting at it like from a distance and just like trying. The order flow makes all this stuff up. It comprises the candlestick patterns. It comprises bull and bear flags or whatever. It comprises volume profile, and then you get this kind of derivative even in volume profile, this derivative of, oh, it's a high volume node, oh, it's a low volume node. And this is how you start to understand profiles. But what does it mean though? And the meaning of a low volume node is rejection. Like here's where it cut through at the cash open here very, very quickly to the downside. So it's retesting back up into that area here. Low volume node, there's not a lot of trading up here. Okay, when we were looking for this move back up to just to VWAP here, and your VWAP traders, we were looking for the move back up because of this market structure analysis. Okay, so and we know that the market can trade up here because there are transactions up here, high volume node. So, this is going back to an area where people can transact. And that's what we're looking for. Here, there's not a lot of transactions up here. And it cut through it very quickly. There's heavy volume on the sell side here, but it's only for this little area of time. And we come up here and we reject and come back down and trade again down to the low here where it can transact. Okay, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get a little bit of a bounce in here. Because this is kind of a high volume node again, and sellers kind of cut through it, and not on a lot of selling either. So that's kind of curious in here to see that. Now we're getting more of buyers come back in. Also, take a look here. Structurally, we're making higher highs. It rejected, true, but we're making a higher low here, and there's volume. There's liquidity here, and there's buyers in here. Great. Okay, well, let's come revisit the high then. That's what we're looking for. Primary scenario here, we're seeing the buyers already come in, looking for them to trade up to 45.85 and maybe even 90, okay, at this point. Okay, makes sense. Okay, because of what we see here in these transactions. Okay, so we're looking for primary scenario is the move back up to the high again. Right, and the volume is looking pretty good so far. Okay, look at the green dots pulling this market higher. All right. Sorry guys, I feel like I kind of neglected you there in Discord. I was on a rant though, and I wanted to get through some of the analysis. Yeah, Alec, the data in TOS is DX feed, which is great. It will show you the bookmap in TOS, but the one thing you won't get is the market by order data, which is kind of a pity. But you'll need to get Rhythmic, and therefore you'll have to get the Bookmap desktop version for that. Oh, you're talking more about, yeah, okay, never mind. You're talking more about settings on VWAP here. Yeah, the VWAP, yeah, I have it reset here. You can see the reset. It was up here, and then it reset at 9:30. Okay, cash open. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I don't have data for the entire session. And I do this on just because, I mean, there's so much trading in the cash session that it usually kind of wins the battle over a bit of time, like an hour or hour and a half. But at least I can show you the same VWAP. If you reset yours also at 9:30, it should look equal. Okay, otherwise everyone's VWAP is going to be different because I started my session at a different time than maybe you did. Okay, Alec, YouTubers and crypto. Live with a trial of version Bookmap. Okay, yep. You're answering questions in there. Thank you, Trepidity. Okay, David, yeah, you've tried it with options and it was very thin. Yeah, exactly. It's it's kind of hard to glean a lot of information out of that. All right, I think I'm caught up. At least I'm caught up in Discord. There's more questions here in YouTube. Oh God, I mean, when it comes down to Goon05, I really like your comments in here about yeah, when it comes to market makers and HFT providers. They studied human behavior for ages. I mean, like, it's like a boa constrictor, like just keeps tightening and tightening and tightening. They're experts, totally efficient experts on knowing human behavior. Heck, I think even some institutions and hedge funds like are studying, like, black ops, like psychology and things like this to use in trading. I mean, I've read articles on that. It was a few years ago. So yeah, when it comes to money, people will do anything basically. But we can read the order flow here, and we can read the activity and the assessment of traders, how they feel about these markets, and that's inescapable. Okay, the footprints, or their tracks in the sand, are inescapable. Indian market will be available pretty soon. Okay, we're launching a campaign pretty soon about that. It's going to be pretty nice. Stocks and futures. Okay, that's all I can say about that. Yeah, in the money strikes works best when more volume, David. Yeah, and especially like, just, if you're going to be looking at Apple, for example, like, or Nvidia or Tesla, like, yeah, you'll probably get you can probably glean some good information, or some information for sure, on some of those options. But each strike is a new symbol, so yeah, makes sense. Oh, Jeff, okay, so you just upgraded to the latest version. We're where do you get the liquidity change? The liquidity marker. Yeah, let me show you that. Yeah, Noel, I hear you. You want to get back to talking about what's happening right now. Well, I mean, it's still working its way up into 85 right now. That was the primary scenario, and there's nothing to look at differently here. So, in fact, it's starting to kind of slow down, but it's still building here. This is you know, all markets. S&P is notorious. Like, it looks like a cup and handle. It looks like it wants to break out. I mean, beautiful cup and handle, right? Look, it should break out. Okay, now cup and handle I don't care about. Like I say, what matters here though is the order flow. Okay, so what this means is in the cup and handle pattern is we're building up here and we're building buyers up here. Okay, it came up, it kind of slowed down, but they're still building. We're building transactions up here. We're looking for a breakout. Okay, so this is the cup part. Here's the pullback, and here's the handle part. But the order flow within it, yeah, this looks good. We're already up at 85. This was our primary scenario, and then we said 90. Maybe we can get to 92. Well, let's read the order flow. Okay, well, yeah, I'm still, we got to go with 90 here. That's the primary scenario. S&P and, you know, mean reversion or just pullbacks, a lot of times we'll see these kinds of shakeout moves. We'll move back down into liquidity here at 44.80, and then move right back up, and then the follow through and the move to the upside. So that would be the secondary scenario here. I can see which one is playing out, the primary scenario, right? But that happens a lot. We'll see it kind of struggle up here, see sellers in here, and then they are able to run some stops, but down below some of these swings. And you'll see this V bottom. It'll come down like this and then come right back up. Let me get my pen tool in here. Yeah, so it would be like trying to break out, getting some, you know, some buyers up in here, and then we get a quick sell off like this, and then the quick move back up. All right, so that happens a lot. That was our secondary scenario, and why we covered it as a secondary scenario. I'll pose the question. So what do you guys think? Like, why would that secondary scenario? Like, why would we? What was the main driver for coming up with that secondary scenario here, based on what we're viewing in here? Okay, and why there was probability for that secondary scenario? What do you guys think? VWAP buyers and to trap? No, I mean, based on the order flow. It's about the order book. Yeah, what is the order book kind of showing us in this area? And actually, it's better in this area over here. Okay, much better. Buy volume, but well, basically there's liquidity down here, but see how it's dark in here? So they started to add into the book here, and this does look better. Right? This is what we look for, a skew in the order book. You know, like we spent, I forget which webinar, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, and we spent, we went through the activity of turning off volume and just looking at order book and price action. And we look for that kind of heavy skew and them pulling, you know, like on the bid here. And there is some in here, but up to this point here, there is none. So sellers in here can take it right down very, very quickly. So when you see these dark areas in here, like it can lead to some volatility. So here's our pullback right before hitting 90. Well, we still haven't quite hit 90 yet, but that's what we're still looking for here. Here's kind of the idea. Like, here's the pullback to an area of liquidity here. Now they did pull that liquidity, but look at, they're right back in. Okay, so yeah, let's just take the volume off for a minute and to make the point. Okay, just looking at making decisions based off of the heat map or liquidity, supply and demand, and price action context. What is price action in here? Think of this liquidity. And you can see they traded into it and through it all through here. But you see the dark areas in here, and sellers could have taken it down pretty quickly. Then we have the nice little skew in the order book here. That helped, but what did we find? Like we got the skew kind of coming down at these levels down here, but what did we find? What was the reaction to it? Yeah, buyers, aggressive buyers. Exactly, Alec. So then we turn the volume dots on and let's take a look at it. Okay, so here they came in here, and we see let's just take a look at this, and like who's kind of leading here or not. Well, we started to find some buyers in here first. Actually, they started to trade to the top of the range here, and then in here, then they started to, just as it's getting to the top of the range, now we see more liquidity starting to come in. Okay, they came in here very aggressive here, and the sellers did take them on. They traded into them. So we glean information also from that. Oh, okay, well, there are some sellers in here, and the buyers took the other side of the trade. They got filled, but we start to understand that context again, right? And then yeah, still kind of inches higher here, looking good in here. More buyers looking for 88 is the next level, and then our 89, 50, and then 90. Okay, high liquidity here. Looks like buyers are going to take them on. Now again, this gets to the kind of like the I don't know part. We don't know what's going to happen and unfold, but we can get context here. What does the market feel about this liquidity in here? It's still trading up here. All right, well, so now if we get sellers here, we're likely to come right back down to 85, 50, and 85 here. If we get buyers back up here, likely we're going to trade into this. It's just more likely. Okay, so at first you can see what happened kind of in here. We can read the auction information in here to get insight what the market feels about this liquidity up here. Okay, so we got back up here. We didn't get buyers up here, and we certainly didn't get back to 87.50 here. Okay, so we're reading this auction in here. Yeah, it can hold it down as well. This area for sure. I mean, you can see they kind of won the battle basically by showing high liquidity in here. Typically if price accepts up in here, and you start to see this kind of auction up here, this is where we're looking for follow through and to test up into 88 in a quarter. We didn't get the follow through. Look at the exhaustion. This is where we want to understand retests and context of retests in here. This is a double top. Okay, now I know this is micro structural, but we can really understand and get a lot. It's the same stuff. Like it's transacting up here. Okay, great. It's auctioning off up here. Well, then we should be able to come back up here and get more. We should be able to find some more buyers up here. And if we do, then they should be able to maybe push it a little bit higher and trade up a tick or two, or maybe up into 88 and a quarter. But we got to retest back up here, and there's no one buying here. No one. Okay, look where the sellers start to come in. And down here too. Now, not much. They can still go back up here. Okay, up. No, now we're not having buyers here. We can't even make a higher high or equal high. And we're getting sellers down here. And now we're starting to break into a new low. But nothing's traded down here yet, and we're looking for it though, and there it is. Now we've moved lower. Okay, now do we get sellers in here? Not quite, not quite, not quite. Looking for them, looking for them. Okay, we're buyers, but we're kind of just at 86.5. Okay, and this is your high volume node for this little micro range. Now we're getting our sellers. Okay, they should be able to drop it. They should be able to move price at that point. And we're looking for it in here too, based off of this kind of retest up here. Okay, and we see the selling down here. This is really no different. Like you want to trade at this time frame and this price level, or these levels and scalp. This is no different than we zooming out and looking at this area here. Same idea, same concept in order flow. Okay, lots of transactions down here. Retest, slightly higher low. Okay, well, first off, it even broke structure here, and we found buyers up here. We come back and retest all the way back down here, and we don't see as many sellers as we did over here. And we find buyers back up here, right? Finding the buyers back on this side is the reciprocal of what we just covered in that microstructure, and we get a nice move. That's why the primary scenario is back up to 85, okay, and then 90 if they can break it. And we're still kind of waiting and watching for 90 here, looking at our cup and handle and blah blah, and it hasn't quite gotten to 90 yet. Okay, or maybe it did it. Let's just take a quick look. It looks like a best offer went up there into 90, but no transactions. That's what I'm showing. Okay, volume column here, no transactions. It was blah blah, technical term. Yeah. Well, I try to, I appreciate the humor. Always appreciate the humor. I try to go through as many instances. We only have an hour to an hour and a half in here, so we don't have time to really dig into like unless we want to focus on just one thing, to really dig into like and thoroughly explain something through. So we're just trying to go through as many examples as we can, and learn order flow that way, and apply it to your trading activity, or your own setups, and how to really integrate order flow within it. So I kind of blurt through some of these. Anyway. Okay, all right, Alec, you want to negotiate some of the hours with my boss. Anyway, guys, let's zoom in here again and take a look at the order flow in here, and we can look at the small levels in here. We can also take a look at candles. I mentioned that earlier. Well, as I say, that candle trader, how do you look at the NQ and Bookmap? Okay, yeah, let's take a look. Okay, it looks like this, we're making lower lows, lower highs in here. So we might not make it to the 90 level that we were looking for, but this is where like we can look at some other things in here, like the majority of the trading in this little area of the auction. What's going on in here? Okay, we have stops and we have icebergs, but let's look at cumulative volume delta too. Okay, well, in this area here, we can use this tool and get it right within our area here. Okay, there we go. What's our cumulative volume delta tell us in here? Yeah, there's more buying in here. Yeah, there's more buying, but they're failing to make a higher high, right? So there's some divergence in there between price action and cumulative volume delta. In this case, this is negative divergence. Price action is not, usually you'll see the positive divergence in here, like Anyway, I won't get into it, but like we're seeing a divergence in here. Like we're seeing more buyers over this range in here, but buyers are failing to bring it higher. Right? So if we, and that's where this can be really insightful. If we start to get sellers down here, we got the buyers kind of trapped up here. Okay, so again, understanding the price action and the order flow here though, and this is where it's crucial to understand the kind of right edge here. Sellers here, overall buyers, but failing to make even higher highs. This is where sellers can tear it down and reach back down to the liquidity down here. And that would be the, in this range here, that would be the primary scenario. Unless all of a sudden we get tons of buyers on the other side here, probably around this area, you know, after these guys would be trapped. And if we can get buyers around here, then we're looking for a top of the range and then maybe follow through, not to just 90, but even higher. Maybe we can get to 4,500. Okay, so two different scenarios there to go through by understanding the hard right edge. And let's take a look and see what unfolded here. Okay, so we kind of left off here, I think. And yeah, so sellers are taking it lower. So now we're looking for, you know, sellers to take it maybe down into 80 here. Okay, now let's look at the, you know, current price action here. Did we get a lot of sellers down here? Not really. Not really. Okay, so we can go back to that same previous scenario. What if we get our buyers up here? And we are. Okay, I don't like that it's dark in here. We want to see them bid up. Otherwise, we'll just get a pullback to here. Likely, more likely. Okay, and then let's see if we get a retest back up here. There they are. Okay, so buyers got this now. We can get the move to 90. All right, so there's our kind of understanding, and this is kind of a, you know, a false breakdown here. Back to the top of the range. Okay, that was our first area to look for, top of the range. Okay, we've gotten there. And now we're looking for 90 and even higher. 4,500 up here maybe. Okay, volume looks good in here. Buy volume looks good. Okay, now that negative divergence, well, I mean, we're seeing buyers here, so this is what matters now. And this is kind of an important thing to understand in order flow, I think, in general, that you know, you can look at your volume profiles, you can look at your candles or your, you know, your patterns and also your indicators or whatever, but what matters is this happening now. Even Stadelmeyer talks about that with his volume strips, and like this was what rules right now. Okay, whereas like, yeah, all of this in here is not as important, because this is what can move the market and get these guys off sides. Okay, so this is, so far this has been a low volume pullback here. Okay, we can see strong volume in here, not strong selling in here, strong buy volume here. All right, so let's see if we can get buyers back up here again, maybe around 86. Okay, here's our pullback, and look at our pullback has come back down. Now we're starting to see more sell volume. Now it's not really a, now it's not a low volume pullback. Okay, I was hoping we can get back up above these guys and then get the continuation here. But it's even gone through this area here. So now we're back to our secondary scenario here. We did get to the top of the range. We didn't get follow through though. Okay, now we've got sellers in here and we're back down into 80 basically. Okay, lots of selling here. Okay, look at the selling pickup. Okay, here's our pullback. Okay, now this would be a low volume pullback. We would, first scenario is we look for a pullback and continuation. Okay? If especially if this has to kind of meet like a criteria of point movement in here, it's only a few points, whereas you can kind of go either way. 2 to 3 points in the S&P is basically around 3 points. We don't really, it can go either way. When you start to get those strong moves though, where you get 4 or 5 points in the S&P and strong and consistent volume, that's when we're looking for a move away from an area and low volume pullbacks. You can see how choppy and wicked this is, kind of over right in here at 83. Sellers, buyers above it. Okay, these guys are on the squeeze here. This is a false breakdown. Back up into the mean, back up to these guys here where they initially sold. Now we're back to another scenario here in the order flow here. Let's see if we can get buyers in control here. Okay, right in here, 85.5. Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I'm looking for it, and it's starting to follow through, but I want to see the bid. I wanted to see more on the bid here. I don't like it being, like we covered earlier, that sellers can easily take it down here. We see they didn't, and the buyers did come in. Okay. And nice move, 90. Okay, even this move here is strong volume, but look at the volume is buying and selling in here. So oh, there we go, there's some nice buying. Okay, strong buying continuation. Let's see if we can get to 4,500 here. Okay, that would be the primary scenario. Let's see how many points have we moved. Almost 4. From 44.90 on up is about 4 points right now. It's 3.5 or so. Okay, so primary scenario would be going higher here. Okay, that's the kind of stronger move and stronger volume. See, look at the flip of the book here as well. On the offer they pulled, they're on the bid instead, and we're getting buyers. Okay, just about at 4,500 here. You know, in here, like looking for, you know, somewhere around 90 in here, but at this point we just didn't really like that they were selling in here. We're looking for the buyers to tear it away from that area. Once we started to see this though, it looked really good. Okay, and then we're looking for the continuation. That was tricky. We're looking for the breakout here. We're looking for a pullback and then a continuation. All it did was test the top of the range here, and then we got a false breakdown here, and then we got buyers back up above this area here. Okay, but we read it. I mean, we talked about it and looked for this kind of phenomena to happen in here. Now, you know, to integrate this into your trading plan and quantify it is going to be more tricky for sure, or trickier. I mean, we've covered it many times over. When you start to see, did we get that consistent selling in here that we look for? Not really. We just have one big dot here, and then it just kind of trickles on down, and then we see the selling. Okay, this is where you can look for that trap volume, and we're going to see stop runs. We're going to see a stop run here, I'm sure. Let's turn it on. Yeah, we see a stop run there. We see a stop run here as well on the way down. And it's from these guys that went long in here. Right, here's another under over, in fact. Okay, kind of here and then here. All right, so yeah, anyway, the buyers did come back in, and then continuation, and then they got through these areas back up into 90. I still didn't, it just didn't look that great in here. This is not what we're looking for. There's a lot of selling here. We want to see strong, consistent buying. And then the breakout, though, then that we're looking for our move higher. All right, so sorry, let me take a look back at the questions here. No, I mean, Bookmap is, D is talking about a more, is it more effective on futures compared to equities? No, not at all. I mean, like we cover the S&P because most people want to look at it. Let's jump over to a stock. Let's look at Tesla. Okay, now this phenomena here is no different. Buyers, okay, let's get up here. Look where it dropped from up here. There's a little bit of a high volume node in here. It's got to kind of get through here, but this looks awesome to come up to 1040 here. Beautiful, beautiful move. I mean, beautiful stuff. This is no different than what we are just talking about. Okay, and that's the primary scenario here. Okay, in the order flow. Okay, also look at the under over in here. Same ideas. Okay, so look at the selling down here. Okay, now the buying was not quite, yeah, I mean, you see it in here. See the buying coming in here. Okay, but it's really up in here where you see the buying coming in. Okay, back up above the swing here. So they're going to move it. All right, so this is not a trade recommendation, but this is a primary scenario. Okay, some strong buying up here. So let's see them explore higher. 1040 would be the first area, and then we can get to maybe even up here. Maybe, heck, you know, we'll see. This is a pretty strong move here. So I mean, it could come up into 1050, 1052. That'll have to kind of unfold over time. I don't have Amazon up right now. Let me add it, and maybe we can come back and take a look. Okay. Oh yeah, you can use it on the indices as well, Miguel. I do have SPY. Just note that you know, these instruments are used in different ways. I don't have SPY, and they're heavily hedged and arbitraged. So due to that, the order flow is very different, you'll see kind of this it's like rollover period during futures. It's a little harder to read. However, we've got you know, options guys like Doug Plus and others. They look at the correlations with S&P and SPY, and look at higher time frame liquidity and also the Qs, and match those up in the indexes. Yep, and they can be great areas to look for targets. Because you'll see, like, all, you know, very close to best bid and offer, you'll see all sorts of activity, but then there will be one area that kind of shows like very high liquidity in SPY or the Qs, and then yeah, that's what you're looking for, is the transaction up into that area. Okay, looking for a deal here. No, Goon 05, like, if you referred a friend, there's a friend referral area on Bookmap. Here, I can quickly show that. Should have used that. So we can go here and go to the Bookmap portal, or yeah, okay, so go to the Bookmap portal in here, and here's your bring a friend here. Okay, so you'll get you each get, you know, a discount here. Yes, Eugene, typically areas of large liquidity act like a magnet, and price is attracted to it um, because that's where the market can deal. And the market needs liquidity in order to trade. So just really simple concept. And what we want to understand, that's like, you can see high liquidity, the market was attracted to it. They did trade here and here. And then down here, they traded into this liquidity that kind of popped in here. But then we want to look at like the shorter term high liquidity, or, reaction to what does the market think about it? Like, does it repel it, the high liquidity, or is it attracted to it? And that's when we're looking at that S&P for that. Okay, so high liquidity came into the order book, and like, what did the market think about it? And it was hanging out there, and then finally some sellers came in and took it down. Here we zoom into Tesla here. You can see all sorts of kind of liquidity in here. Look at here, we got our strong buying again up here. We're looking for a breakout. Okay, back up to here, 37, maybe 38. Okay, there's plenty of time to get in these too when you see them. Plenty of time. Now you got to be kind of quick, but there's time. It didn't like leave the station without. You just got to be watching these. I mean, trading is timing. Here's our move, 38. Boom, beautiful. Okay, and what about this is the second leg now, higher time frame. We're looking for 40, right? Okay, we're almost there, still looking for it. Okay, and we can maybe even get up into 45 here. There's 40. That would be the primary target. Okay, again, not a trade recommendation, but just it's how to use and read order flow here. And we don't have any reason to get out of this at this point, but I would the way I would manage it, I would definitely take some off here. We got a lot of liquidity that got filled up here, so now we're starting to see reaction to that liquidity in here. Right, we're finding some profit taking, some selling. It's kind of taken away some of that buying pressure. If this liquidity wasn't in there, well, we'd be looking for the next area of high liquidity up here. Okay, if there's more buying pressure coming in here, they're going to be attracted to 43 and 45. Okay, here's where we get that insight as well. Here they are on the book here. It's kind of repelling price. All right. So let's see them come up to 41, and let's see it break out into 43. Now, that would be the assumption here, but we're likely going to get some back and forth in here. You can see there's a sweep of the order book in here. Okay, so nice one there. We could come back and retest that area, try to auction back in here. We'd look for it though. High liquidity on the offer, starting to sign some sellers, trade back down and retest some of these areas. Okay, but primary scenario is, well, we're still finding buyers, looking for more buyers up here at 41, and looking for another continuation. Here comes some sellers. Okay, and what was the reaction? Buyers took them on. Okay, now did they get through it? No, not yet. Did we get sellers down here? Not yet. If we do, it auctioned down here and there were sellers. If we do, we can pull down here where these buyers came in. Okay, so we're learning from the reaction to this liquidity up here at 1040, which was primarily our target. All right, that was a lot of stuff. Trepidity, this is great to hear. Like, yeah, you're so cool how Bookmap it's so cool how Bookmap shows levels, and you chart on normal charts. Yeah, it's reaffirming. Exactly. I mean, it's just showing you like, well, this is where they're traders in here. This is where there's supply. This is where there's demand. Yep. Oh, Alec, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. Maybe uh, we can do more with you. That'd be great. I mean, you, David, others, you guys have been really active in the chat. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I can talk more about that at a later time. But yeah, this is how it happens. Exactly. I mean, you're totally helpful. You're engaging and helping others and uh, learning along the way. Yeah, trepidity, like, and the what we're talking about in here, like, I know that it I kind of wonder why it's sometimes maybe there's some sort of disconnect here between what I'm covering in the order flow here and as you guys can see, like, here's that move into this area here, 38, and then we talked about the potential move down here. This is why I love to take my profits up at these targets, and then I don't have to sweat this here and just kick myself. Yeah, I kick myself if it comes back here and then it goes straight up to 45, but like, I just take some off and then try to manage the rest. And that's just a little bit better on my psyche. All right, back down to a high volume node in here on Tesla. So strong move, strong follow through. This was the target. We were looking for it. And now let's see if we can maybe bounce off this and trade back up to where the sellers just took it down here. But I'm not seeing a lot of liquidity in here right now, so not really sure what to make of Tesla at the moment. Yeah, I mean, we're back into this trading area here, so either or in here. And we need to see, like, one of the things that we cover time and again in here is like starting to understand who's in control in order flow. And in this very small time frame, sellers took it down here. So let me we're going to go back to the S&P for a minute, and we'll take a look at Nasdaq as well. What's confusing in here, and I really implore you to take a look at our educational course. Okay, because I think a lot of times, like, we're accustomed to reading books with, or seeing videos or whatever it is, or other traders. They're using candlesticks, they're using footprint charts, they're using volume profile, they're reading patterns and trend lines, etc. And we're learning the setups about those things and how to trade them, but we don't understand the market fundamentals and the market mechanics behind them. So in our education, what we try to do, and try to just like take all of that other knowledge and put it aside for a moment and understand what makes the market move and build out from there. So when we go through this exercise at looking at smaller moves in here and what makes the market move in an auction, where is it auctioning, understanding some of these things in here of market mechanics, it's pretty simple stuff. This is not rocket science whatsoever, but we're getting insight from where the market is auctioning. So we can start to look for, well, they're building consensus in certain areas. So, like, here, like, okay, well, in this price action in here, look at this B-shaped profile. Okay, I think it's misleading here, to be honest. Because the transaction is way over here, and we have one here. Okay, and we also have one here. Okay, but there's more buying up in here. Okay, now what we're looking to see, though, is there's some buying up here. If we can get back up here and we get more buying up here, these guys will have to flip and get stopped out, and we'd be looking for the move to test into higher liquidity here. based on what we're reading in here. But mark your volume profile here tells you this is P-shaped, or I'm sorry, B-shaped. You know, you're looking for it to break and trade back down into this liquidity here, into, you know, 04, you know, 03, whatever. Okay, well, okay, fair enough. But, you know, these transactions took place over here. We're looking at the right edge now. So if we get buyers up here, I'm looking for the move. I don't care if it's, I don't give a 2 cents worth of like it's a B-shaped profile. Now if we get sellers down here though, then I'm looking at it and I'm looking for the break. Okay, just really pretty simple stuff. See how we're getting buyers up here. Okay, and this is where we auctioned before. More buyers, they even brought it higher. Great, we should get up here. Okay, right in the face in spite of our B-shaped profile. Okay, now no follow through. We're back, we auction back down again. Okay, where are the buyers now? I don't see them up here. What's happening is selling, or a lot of, and this is where it's building out the profile. And this is where what I'm doing is we're reading this activity in here, but applying a you know, volume profile with it. Okay, but what we really want to understand is where it's auctioning in these areas in here. What's the reaction to supply and demand? Okay, oh, here, okay, we got a little bit of a boost out of this more demand here, a little bit of buying up here. All right, is it sustainable? Do we get more buyers up here, pulling up here at 06.5? And let's see. All right, no follow through. Sellers actually interested in it. Okay, do we get sellers down here, 04 and 3/4? And especially at 04.5, we can get the break. Now that B-shaped profile makes good sense. Okay, didn't get it. We got exhaustion here. Do we get buyers back up here? A little bit. Okay, let's see if we get them here. If we get them here, because we just exhausted out here, if we get them up here, there we go. Looking for it. I know I can already see the tick there. Yeah, now we're starting to auction up here. Now we need to see significant buying up here, and we're not yet. There we go. Now that we're starting to see some, so they should be able to pull it higher. Okay, and now it made it to 06.5, and then a new auction started up here, and then we got sellers down here, and they're able to draw it right back down into the bottom of the range. Okay, we'd have to go through the process up here. All right, so it's pretty simple stuff, but this can apply though to your volume profile, or it can apply to your, you know, understanding range bound activity. Okay, whatever it may be. Okay, we'll jump over to NQ here. Nice volume starting to trade up here, top of the range. Not a whole lot. Pretty dark in here. Don't like it. You know, if we see a reaction to, you know, increased demand here with, you know, more aggressive buying, then it looks good for, you know, 12 and 13 here. Otherwise, if we see sellers here at 08, look for a move back down to 06 and maybe even 04. See how that just kept us out of this and this kind of back and forth in here, just by understanding the order book in here, and just keep us out of this slop to look for something that looks stronger, has more clarity to it. Here we go. We're back up here and high demand up here, but sellers took them on. Okay, what's the reaction now? Do we get more sellers down here? Yep. Okay, sellers, let's see if you can take it down to the bottom of the range. We found sellers. Okay, so maybe down to 05 here. Okay, dark in here. We don't want to see that, but we found some sellers in here. We know that. Okay, do we get sellers back down here? Does it start to auction down here again? Let's look for it. If we do, we have more likely primary scenario would be to move back down into this liquidity here at 0.5 and 0.4.5. Here we go. Okay, still dark in here, but primary scenario is, there we go. See the skew? See the skew that came in there? Look at the reaction to it. There's our move. Okay, and we're just looking for that move. Nice stop run. Stops all trickled through here. We're back down to 0.3 and 3/4. Are there any questions on this? There's got to be. Let me know what you guys, how you guys feel about this. You know, being able to read this and then look for something that's more likely to unfold. Okay, that was, well, I don't know what IBF is, initial balance something. Oh, initial balance failure. Yeah, I just, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not getting my point across. This move here could have been initial balance failure, true, but it doesn't matter. Like, and what is initial balance? Like, you know, we just need to know what's going on in here to look for that move. Yeah, look at this player come in. Look at zoomed out, higher time frame, high liquidity, high liquidity, high liquidity. One player doing that. Now buyers took them on here, so there they go. We found some buyers. Okay, do we get back up above here though? Yeah, failure. No, it's yeah, and I know Tom B looks at his initial balances, etc. But it's the concept though. Initial balance concept is no different than like what we were talking about the other day of understanding an area of a lot of trading. Okay, in the first hour there's a lot of trading, and but that concept can be used for all time frames. It doesn't have to be for the day trading. Yeah, initial balance is a good idea because a lot trades within the first hour. So what's the reaction to all of that volume, those traders in that area? But that concept is here too. Okay, where's all the volume trading within this very small time frame? Okay, here's the move away from it. Okay, and maybe now it's going to have a new range here to trade in. Here's the pullback to it. Okay, and here's a pullback to this transaction there where we found buyers. So I mean, I kind of find like the term initial balance as kind of a derivative of what the order flow is about. No, no, Alec, no problem at all. No, I really appreciate it. I think I'm trying to just it's there's all sorts of terminology used with trading techniques, but let's understand what kind of that terminology means. And once we understand those concepts in the order flow here, you can use it for anything. Here's a balance of this little area here. Okay, do we find sellers trying to drive it away from it? Yeah, there they go. All right, here, this is where we look for then. 03. Now, dude, how did auction down here? Not bad, Right, well, if we get more here, well, we have a higher probability of breaking this area here. Okay, and it did break it, but now let's get some follow through. Okay, we've got to be kind of careful here. It broke it, but this can be a false breakdown. Okay, now it's in a kind of a trading range down here on the breakdown, slowly breaking down more and more. Back to the figure here, 4,500 maybe. Okay, initial balance. Let's look at initial balance in terms of a diagonal, not horizontal, or not initial balance, a balance of an area. Here's a trending balanced area. Now it's breaking. Okay, great. And what if we get buyers up here? Okay, above this little range in here. So we've got this trending kind of balance, and then we've got this kind of balance in here, basically. So if we get buyers here, up here, breakout. Okay, it's building, again, balance in here. Yeah, I'm really tired too, Alec. No, I just trying to make a point on understanding these concepts in the order flow, and then once you've got the concept down, you're free. You can play it all sorts of different ways. That's the beauty. You know, we can look at candlesticks, and start to understand that. Okay, wicks. Okay, what if we get, you know, we see wicks and we see selling in this area here? Well, what if we can get buyers up here at 03 3/4? Okay, or what if we get more sellers down here? We're likely going to get the break at this point. It's tested here a couple times, but we've seen rejection here. Well, what if we get enough sellers here? So this is a scenario. We get our sellers here, we should get the breakdown, 4,500, maybe even lower. Okay, more likely. Now, what's it doing down here? How's it auctioning? I don't see sellers here. Now we're getting them. Okay, we should get our break. More likely to get our break. Okay, there's our candle. So the concept of candlestick and range and understanding order flow within it, same ideas. Okay, and we're open to the scenario. Like, what if we, you know, in here it's like, wow, we're not getting sellers here. What if we get buyers? They'll reach back up to the top of the range here, and up here, even though like we see kind of red candles and it's made lower lows, or you know, we do see rejection in here a few times. So if we get up here, if we can get up here and get buyers, then likely we'll get our move to the upside. Okay, and our break to the upside here. So in this case here, we're looking forward to a potential, we had diagonal kind of balance area in a trend, horizontal, and then we're looking for a break here, potentially, if we get our buyers up here. We didn't. We actually then just, all we do is extend this across. And now we're looking at this range of activity from trending to, you know, our diagonal to horizontal, and then looking for the order flow within that. And here's our next one here. Okay, down here. Okay, candles say so far, wow, sellers. There's rejection. Okay, well then we're looking for more sellers here in the push. Do we have demand or more supply up here? No, not really, not yet. Now they're pulling here, supply or demand. All right, so if we get some sellers here, we should go further. We're likely to go further. 98.5, 97, 96. Okay, retesting the bottom of the range here. So our candles, this shows, strong move, rejection, and back down and close at the bottom of the range. Okay, now look at the order flow here. Okay, so we're looking for the move lower, but not now. We're seeing strong volume come in, and we're back up here at the top of the range. Okay, so now this is going to be trap volume. In our candlestick pattern, this is a failed candlestick pattern. But the order flow is telling us, all right, we're going to come up to 03 and 04, 0450, most likely. Okay, still kind of dark under here. Let's see the bid. There we go. Okay, so this candlestick theory or this pattern here failed. Okay, but we read it here. Let's see if we can get back up to 03. Almost there. And then we're back up into this area where our candles here. Okay, and we'd really like to see some buyers up here. Okay, around 03.5 or so. There's more demand at 01, short-lived. Okay, retest to where these buyers came back in. Let's see if we get buyers again. A few questions in here. Let's see. Yeah, the liquidity marker, Jeff. I think I don't have time here. We're just finishing up the European close here, and we'll turn it over to Tom B. He'll get started here pretty soon. So if you want to continue on, you'll need to jump over here into Discord, we're going to get Tom on YouTube here pretty soon. Yeah, for now, you'll have to jump over to Discord. Anyway, where was I leading to? I'll show the liquidity marker, I think, next week in more detail. There's some things I want to go over with the developers, okay, in particular. So I wanted to hold off on that. Let's see here. You tried TOS D and it feels completely different. It's pretty good. DX feed data is good. It's just you're not going to get the market by order data, and the action's good in smooth action in Thinkorswim. I like it. But the desktop version here has a lot more features, that's for sure. Okay, so if you want access to those features, then that's what you're gonna you can go with. You'll need rhythmic data if you're looking at futures, and if you want the MBO indicator as well. Okay, then you'll need to subscribe to that as well. All right, so guys, we're back up here again and looking for buyers again up here, top of the range. It rejected and kind of came back down, but it tested where these buyers came in. You can see it right here. we're looking for buyers in our breakout 04.5, 06. Okay, looks pretty good. We're building consensus up here. It's auctioning up here. It can go higher. Okay, 04.5. Okay, so you're starting to understand it better now. Great, that's excellent. You don't have to be all that fast to respond to these things in the order flow, but I mean, you know, we're trading, and timing is a big element in trading, of course. So, and we're reading the order flow, but you know, you can look for exhaustion and rejection of areas, and then look for it to trade back up to these areas here as well. It just depends on the style you're trading. Let's see here. I think I've gotten through all the questions in YouTube. Yeah, we want to take a quick look at Amazon. $3,000, $3,100 instrument, crazy stock. Looks a little similar to that. There's some similarities to that Tesla. We'll jump back to Tesla as well. And I didn't look at NQ. I'm sorry, guys. I will take a quick look at NQ. Okay, what about Tesla? Let's take a look here. Not seeing too much. I mean, it's starting to kind of turn around. You know, let's see. I don't know. We got to see a lot of buying up here again to get back up to highs for the cash session, and maybe to 3150. That's bigger time frame there. Okay, so you guys can see what's happened here in Tesla. We're looking for that kind of bull flag. It played out nicely up into our 40 level. Here I really would have been looking for it to trade up into 52, or I'm sorry, 1045, and then maybe 1050, 1052. This really looks good to me. It didn't. However, if we look at the structure, we got structure down here and sideways, and a lot of volume, and then we have broken and accepted above in this structure here. Okay, so still looking pretty decent that of trading around in this structure between 33 and 41 or so. All right, and then let's jump back. I have not looked at Nasdaq. We just use Nasdaq all the time. That's what we looked at primarily. Haven't looked at it in quite a while. Let's see here. God, this is a nice move in here. Back up to 9 o'clock and 14,500. Yeah, structurally here. 1, 2, and buyers cluster buying coming in. All right, let's see if they can move it right back up to 62, and then maybe back up into 76 as well. Let's zoom in here a bit. Finding some sellers interested in this liquidity here. So this kind of is kind of showing us back and forth. I mean, more demand in here, but sellers seem to be interested in it. So there they go. There they just traded into it. Now they can probably get down to 32 and a half. Okay, geez, I forgot how quickly this moves. Yeah, maybe 30. Okay, now as an under over or a pivot, we'd have to get buyers back up above this 38 area here. Yeah, I really like this market. I like the Nasdaq. Anyway, S&P has been moving pretty well, so we've been covering that. This failed candlestick pattern down here moved into a pretty nice move to the upside, 06 and even higher, 07. Okay, we were looking for these wicks up here, and we broke out even from these wicks up here. So nice move on that. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. We can wrap it up here. Any last minute questions? All right, Doug, Tesla traders start buying calls and selling puts. Excellent. I love it. A few more questions in here. Let me see. Yeah, when volume dies, it can be excruciating. Let's see. Yeah, nice structure there, Alec. Yep. Xander. You guys are kind of answering your own questions in there. Good. Let's see, YouTube. I think I'm all. Travis, you're looking at correlated markets there as well. Great. Yeah. Yeah, I love looking at the correlated markets. Yikes! All the way back down here through. This is our under overline here, kind of where they kind of broke out from, and look at the sellers pound it right back down. Okay, so looking for follow through to the downside on this. Here we go, 98. I mean, if we're already through it and we're selling down here, looking for them to move it. Let's see if we can get back down to 95. Let's zoom out here. Yeah, I like that 95 area in here. Let's get the candlesticks off because of this kind of consolidation and then breakout. Yeah, also down here, 90, our 90 level. Boy, some nice moves in here. Anyway, guys, all right, let's wrap it up. Tom B is next, and make sure to jump in that room. It's over on Discord. We will catch up with you guys on Monday. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Okay. Oh, if you're on YouTube and you like this, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And we can do more and more over on YouTube. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. Thanks again. Have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Okay. And join Tom B lined up next. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.